Hello everyone. After several days of the implementation for our library project, this is what we have so far. It's time to go back to the target application to see whether it is able to import to the target application. So let's first switch to the target application here. As we have been adding new files to the library, it's a good time to first run port install to make sure the latest files and the added files are available in the target application. It may take some time. After a while, the port install is done, and then let's try to run the application to see whether the made calendar is showing up in the target application accordingly. For instance, the width of each item is quite wide. We have seen this before when we are not setting the width of the whole calendar frame. Other things like the number of dates and the number of week is showing up correctly, but right now the highlight and the dots are not showing up. If I click on this, it may be a bit not showing correctly, possibly because of the hard code in terms of the position for the circle layer. So now we have to fix these things. At this moment, it would be good to go back to the library and check out how we set that up previously. We go to the view controller here, which is the file of the sample project in adding the calendar view. Also, I'm going to show the calendar view on the right side in the assistant editor. Make more room for it. And let's take a look on this view for the size. And I'm showing the outer frame, where we set it to 280 width and 320 height, which is like the ideal size of the calendar. So say if I go to a target application, and I'm going to show that main.storyboard on the right side. While we are adding the calendar view to the view here, so it is getting like the whole frame. In fact, what we can do is setting the calendar view frame to a custom one. Say I can set it to a red at the position of 0, 0, starting from the bottom left, and then I can assign the width and height here, and try to run it again. So it now shows like this. Let's see. The view right now is having 270, and I want to show it 320. So there are the month is hidden, not enough space to show. So maybe another way to define this is simply dragging another custom view to our view here, and then set the custom view to the size we want. We can adjust the parent view to have enough room for this. And then I'm going to link this custom view as an IP outlet to the view controller and say I call it container view. So this time for the calendar view, I'm going to set the frame based on the container view initiated in the storyboard and just take that frame. Afterward, I'm going to add the calendar view back to the view, basically on top of the view next to the container view. This time if I run again, I make sure the calendar is showing the size that I want. So now it shows 7 items on each row, and if I click on one of these, the highlight shows correctly and having the text at the middle of the circle. This is what we have when we develop the library in its own project. And now I want that selected date to be shown by default. So let's say in our sample project, when we call calendar view, we'll set the selected date to NS date as well. We can do the same here. So after adding calendar view to the view hierarchy, I'm going to set the calendar view dot selected date equals to NS date. However, seems like I cannot access selected date. As you may guess, it may be due to the modifier. It is not setting to public. Then in our current target application, I have no way to access this variable and change the value. Let me open up the file in here, and then I can add the public modifier to selected date variable. And now run the application again. It will build the module, the framework again, because there is a change. After that, Xcode would update the text highlighter of our target application. If it is still not showing up, we can just switch to another file and come back. And now it shows green in my color theme. That means it is now accessible. And obviously, we can run the application as well. For now, today is April 16, and when I run the application, it is selected already. Let's do one more thing for the cans as well. In our sample project, we generate the cans using a function. To start with, I can just copy this to our target application. And also, we set the cans before we add it to the calendar view. At least I want to replicate the same behavior first. So again, I'm not able to access cans because it is not set to public. Try to run it again. Now we should be able to change cans, and thus the dots are showing up as well. Right now, we make sure when the library is import through CocoaPods and built into framework, it is able to use in the target application. At this moment, we do have two properties to set. One is counts, the other is selected. In fact, I want to set the properties together to make the code look nicer. Let's try to set the counts after calendar view is added to the view hierarchy and see whether the dots are showing up. Okay, it works too. So basically, we can set those properties all at once. And if I don't want to show the dots, I can simply skip the set of this particular property. At this point, the availability of different properties are not clear. It is not intuitive because somehow we developed the library, we know what we serve. But for others, just using our library, they don't know. They want to find this information through the documentation. Thus, we need to have the place to display those information. In the general practice, it is always written in the GitHub repo. Let's take another project as an example. For SwiftDate, they will have the readme.markdown file to document what are the functionalities they provide. And for the details, they may have the user guide in setting all this information and also provide sample code to use. Let me first add this readme file here. We can preview it anytime and say I'm just adding the usage for now, and I want to add some sample code. And then copy what I have. Okay, something like this. And maybe we can write a little bit more, initialize the calendar view using another code block, which is this one. And then this is about add calendar to the view hierarchy. We can even separate this out. Set the calendar properties like this and preview it. It comes out like this. Okay, that looks not that bad. We can use it for now. I will commit it here using the default description. So now it's created. For other people, when they visit our project repository, they can see the usage of this application, this library. And later on, we'll need to provide a guide on how to install the library as well. Say, for example, we are serving this library through CocoaPods. People would like to know how to install it using CocoaPod. And the best way is you provide the line you need to include to the profile, so others can just copy and paste to their own profile. that's it for today. We are going to make the README better offline. You can check it later on.